for a minute.
I have so much to tell you.
I feel like we're doing a Dateline episode now.
That's what I want to do.
You want to do a Dateline episode?
Yes, I do want to do a Dateline, but I don't want to be our family.
It could be our family.
Could definitely be our family.
We have so many stories to... Well, Becky,
Yes, Mike.
it's been a while.
It has been a while. What? 4 years?
Yeah, when did Dad pass away?
3 years ago, I think.
3 years ago, and we stopped, so about three and a half. We stopped about 6 months before Dad passed,
Yeah.
I think.
I think he's going to be gone. Well, he died Mother's Day, the day, that weekend.
Yeah.
And Mom died on Easter. It'll be 7 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we took some time off, and then me and Becky were like, I was watching some of our videos. Greg is horrible.
We have to call him. I got something to tell you too. But anyway.
Gossip. I love gossip. Okay, so
It's not that great.
So anyways, our families are trying to reconnect, stuff like that.
Mike and I live 10, maybe 15 minutes away from each other.
15 and 20. And
we never see each other.
I never see her. And I text you and I try to call you, but that doesn't work either.
No.
Becky doesn't know how to work a phone.
I don't. I know.
I mean, what's sad is we are becoming, we're now that our parents have gone, I look at our cousins and stuff, most of our uncles and aunts have gone on. So now we are we're the adults in here.
Well, I told Jamie the other day, I said, I'm thinking, I really only have about 10 years that God promised me to live. I go, and I'm getting old. And she's like, stop.
10 years? You think you're going to die in 10 years?
No, I don't know. I mean,
listen, we have a long history in our family. Yes. Everyone lives at least to their 80s. And I'm just saying, God promised us
so many years. And after that, Dad, after he turned, was it 75? Every year after 75, I think it was, he would say, we'd have a birthday, he goes, I'm living on borrowed time.
Yeah, well, look at Grandma. How old was Grandma when she passed?
95.
95 years old. And ever since I was like 5 years old, all I ever heard her say was, this is my last year. Lee, God's going to take us, so that woman, I thought she was going to outlive me for a while there,
Dad was 86, and he just came up to Wesley one day and said, I'm ready.
Oof.
And Wes said, you ready?
Yeah, the good thing with Dad, he didn't suffer long. He went fast. Man, it was just...
We were not expecting him to die, because he was fine.
He was. And he had that surgery. And
I told him not to do the anesthesia.
And they did.
Because I had surgery, so I couldn't be there. I was in recovery.
Well, I even talked to him that day, and it just, anyways. But, so we're back, and we're going to share...
To show all this that we did. We need to start all over again.
Man, you got to go back and watch some of it. My favorite episodes are with Greg and Dad.
I know, right?
They are, because, one, Greg's just funny, and unfiltered.
Yes.
You think I'm unfiltered?
I think all of us are unfiltered.
No, you're very filtered. You're like, oh, don't say a name. Ooh, don't. Oh, Mike, we got to go back and rewind. Ooh, Mike. Ooh.
Well, my problem is now I have a little more weight on me than I did before. And I like this weight I'm at, but I started looking like Mom.
I know. I see you and I see Rella.
No, I stand like her. I do. So in the mornings, like when my hair's wet, you know how Mom looks when her hair's wet. And one morning, right after, not too long after she died, I was sitting on the bed and I had I have a little table, and I had my makeup mirror there, and I said, well, good morning. And Bill goes, and I said, how are you? I haven't seen you in a while. And Bill's like, who are you talking to? I said, Rella. I said, look. He goes, yeah. He goes, I get that.
I know. Unfortunately, I get up and I don't see Dad when I look at me, but boy, does his voice come out of me all the time. The kids and Amber are always like, okay, Roy Chestnut.
So what I wanted to tell you was, Jamie texted me. I was going to send it to Greg for his birthday. his, and I was going to send you yours, but now you guys know. Well, you will know. She found a thing that Dad wrote right before he died. Not like that year, but like since Mom died.
Mm-hmm.
About you. He wrote about me, Becky. She always, how I talked a lot in school and how he thought about me, what he thought about me.
No, I don't know if I want to read what he thought about
No, they're very sweet. They're very stuff that he, like.
He would never share.
And right. Well, no, he did. It was stuff he enjoyed. He laughed about. It was the stuff he laughed about.
Oh, really?
Yes. And he talked about Greg, and he talked about Greg and the girls that chased him when he was in, and then he talked about you. And then the only thing is at the end, it's like, and it wasn't ugly. It was like about Amber and you, and he hopes you guys make it, like,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, and I told Jamie, don't give these to the boys yet. So, but I think I want all of them.
Oh, yeah.
But I think we just need to share them all, but with
That's
each other,
cool.
with all three of us. But it was this, I'm like, I was just crying. I'm like, because Dad
was never
sentimental.
No.
Well, he's sentimental more than Mom. Then that's pretty bad.
No, Mom was sentimental with me and
Towards me,
Greg.
yeah, I think you're right. I think
And Dad was with you.
I think you're right. But anyway, so it's the side of him, the stories that we have heard before and stuff, but how he felt about it and what he, yeah. So
I want to read that.
Yeah, I got it on my phone. So
okay,
do that later. But that's what I meant by Greg, because I was going to send it to Greg for his birthday. But I don't even remember now what a lot of it is, a lot of it says. But it was really sweet. It was like, Jamie goes, Mom. She sent it to me when I was at work. I go, I'm working.
Oh, and then you're crying at work.
Yes, and she's like, no, I think you're going to see this. She goes, if you get a chance. I'm like, where did you find those at? But they were sweet. So now I want to do that for my kids and my grandkids.
Yep.
I think so.
That's what I like about these videos, because then our kids can watch them, see them,
That's true.
our grandkids, and stuff like that. Delilah's kind of disappointed. She wanted to come do a podcast with us today, so I didn't bring her.
I wish you had, but I wish we had a video of her at Amber's mom's funeral.
Oh.
That child was hilarious. 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 And I know that, and she was quiet, but she kept calling, I didn't know my family was all going to be here together.
I know. The world's all about her, isn't it?
She kept kissing me and Jamie, and it was just sweet.
Oh, she's, you know what's funny is, so Holly is my stepdaughter, right? But it's like they have my DNA, chestnut DNA in them.
Very much so.
And Delilah is like, she got reader blood in her.
Very much so.
She is like the women.
But
and then
she doesn't hit the filter.
No. Well,
and Brooke, my grandkids, like Rory didn't have the filter.
Yeah. But she's very specific on stuff. I call her baby girl. And if I call her anything other than baby girl, I'm baby girl. And I told Holly the other day, there was something going on. I told Holly, I said, well, I won't do that because you're my favorite. To Holly, And Delilah got this hurt look on her face. She said, I thought I was your favorite. And all serious. And I said, oh, I'm sorry. I met after you. You, of course, are my favorite. Then she went, okay.
You are number one.
Yes.
See, I have to say favorite grandchild or favorite. I mean, girl, oldest. I always say you're my favorite 8-year-old or.
Yeah, they're very picky.
Yeah, so when they get older, it doesn't work.
So anyway, let's tell some chestnut stories. So, you were saying you can share some stories now.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you one story. Okay, and pray, because we, Dad's side of the family's getting older, but we have my Uncle Ben, whom I adored, and my Uncle Tommy, I adored. They both passed away. And unexpectedly, especially with Uncle, try not to cry, with Uncle Ben. And then, so my Uncle Earl and my Uncle Johnny, they're not doing real well either. So if you would pray for them, I would appreciate it. But Johnny's funny. And so him and Ben told me this story one day, and I had never heard this story, and I laughed. Me and Bill laughed till we just, because Bill thinks they're the funniest storytellers.
Well, they were.
Because they told the fish story, where, and Bill tells that all the time. But anyway, they told us that when they moved to Indiana, and they moved, they were teenage boys, and they lived in that apartment. Grandpa worked, but he also managed those apartments.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, Grandma would tell things that weren't true, lie. And
Not Grandma.
if I remember the story right, so Josie can tell me if I did it or not. But anyway, she would tell Grandpa when they got home how horrible they were, and they're like, and so he would punish them. Well, they had the one that, no, that's not what it was. Okay, they put her in a closet.
Oh, she told that they put her in a closet.
They did.
Oh, they did? They put her, because she was lying on them.
So they put Grandma in the closet, but then she told Grandpa that they put him in a closet. They got in trouble, and he made them live in the basement, and they would sneak out the door. And they said that they didn't even eat. They had to sneak out and get food. That could be true. I don't know. But they snuck out. Well, Grandma found out that they snuck out and stuff, and she was going, you wait till your grandpa gets home. So they stuck her in the closet again, and they would not open the door. And they said, you have to promise that you will never, ever tell Grandpa.
Their dad.
That we put you in the closet. And they go, because we are not bad. We're not bad. We're good. Whatever. So
we got you locked in
left
the
her, and she was screaming and hollering. And they said and they said, because I'm going to tell you something. If you tell him that we put you in that closet, you're going to go in that closet. May not come out, but. So anyway, they put her in the closet, and she promised him that she wouldn't. And Uncle Ben said, as far as he knew, she never told anybody. And I said, well, I have never heard it ever until that day when they told me.
Oh, I got to get with David and find out that story. Because,
because I'm sure they've told
David and Anna
my memory.
know that.
Relish memory.
Well, and we have Mom, so we like to add a little bit more details to things.
No, I'm not sure if I'm adding it right. I don't remember, because it was, I think they told me about 4 years. It was before Mom died, right after Mom died. So it's been a good 6 years.
Well, Uncle Johnny was funny because, you and Jake and Nettie.
He's the best storyteller.
So I was living with Grandma and Grandpa.
Yes, I remember that.
And I put her in the closet. No, just joking. She put me in the closet. No closet here.
Had you done that story, you could threaten.
I could. I never needed to. Grandma loved me. So, anyways, Jake was diehard Democrat. And Jake this is back before, there's Fox News, CNN, all that stuff. It was just local channels and all that stuff, right? And so he's watching the news, and I don't know, it might have been Ronald Reagan. It was a Republican president or something. And he's just going, and he liked to, and I was like, he talked and talked. I don't even know how the man breathed, because he talked and talked. You couldn't watch TV. You couldn't do nothing, because and Uncle Johnny.
Jake and Nettie and Grandma would all three talk at the same time.
Oh, gosh. And so I told Johnny, he's driving me crazy. I go, he's never quiet. And Uncle Johnny goes, well, you want to know how to make him quiet? I go, how? He goes, just do whatever I do when he comes back in. I said, okay. So Uncle Jake, what he would do is he would pick a subject, and he would find out what side of it you were on, and argue it with you, because he just wanted to argue.
Yeah, he likes to argue.
And so he started arguing, and I'm just sitting there. I got a headache at this point with him. And Uncle Johnny goes, you know what? I never saw it your way before. That's right. You're exactly right. Right? So then
that's
correct. Uncle Jake he won that battle. So he came up with something else, And what's funny is this is like 30 minutes of this going on. And I catch on to what Uncle Johnny's doing, because he's winking at me. And we're on our fourth subject, and we're like, oh, you are so right. I'm like, I got to tell my dad that, because you know what? What I thought was wrong all this time, right? And then Uncle Jake got so mad because he couldn't get a fight with us. He got up, said a choice word, and said, man, you can't have a conversation with no one in this house, and went out the back door and slammed it.
Well, that's the way they all were. Grandma and Grandpa, Well, not really Grandpa, but Grandma. And that's what Greg would do. Greg would start.
Oh, Greg liked to get Grandma
say,
going.
Well, they said, and it was about Johnny, and Grandma and Grandpa were fussing about nobody mowed the lawn. I said, I think Benji had mowed. I go, yeah, Benji mowed the lawn.
Yeah.
I had literally just seen him, and they're going, nope, nobody's mowed the lawn. They all got their things they got to do. Nobody.
That was all the time.
So anyway, and I kept saying, no, it's Benji. I'm pretty sure Benji. And Greg goes. So we're sitting there, and they kept saying, Johnny never comes to mows the lawn. So we would stop and, no, Grandma would defend Johnny. And Grandpa would say, Johnny, I bet you Johnny, it's Johnny's turn and he didn't do it or something. I don't remember. Greg can tell you. But every time they would finally stop and we would be watching TV or doing something. And Greg, so do you think it was Johnny that did it? The tomatoes. They didn't mow the lawn and there was somebody took the tomatoes. And Greg kept saying it was Johnny. And I'm like, stop it. And they would, and Grandpa go, yeah, Johnny did it. He goes, if anybody's going to do it, Johnny's did it. And Grandma would go off. Johnny didn't do it. He wouldn't do it. I know. And he's like, we got to get somebody over here to mow the lawn. I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh, stop it. And Greg would just, that's why when you say Johnny, that's where Greg gets it. Greg's like that, too. He loved to hear them argue. And I was like, it would just get on my ever-loving nerve.
Well, they were funny. I remember, so Danny and David, twins, we would go almost every summer when we were little to Grandma and Grandpa, and they were living in Virginia, and they had an apple orchard in the back and all this stuff. And we went, so about once a week or maybe every twice a week or something, Grandpa would give us like $1 each, which back then $1 each went a long way, right? And we would get to go down, we would walk about 5 blocks down to the candy store. And we would get, they had this big candy aisle, and it was at one of those mercantile stores, and so we would get candy. And one day we're walking back, me and the twins were walking back, and this old man, drunk, tried to steal our candy and our money from us. And the good thing was we could run, he couldn't. And so we ran home, and we get in there, we're like, you gotta understand, I mean, we were young back in the day. You could be 7 and 8 years old and walk down to the store and not worry about getting kidnapped and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, kind of.
So we were young.
You were in Virginia, up the slip.
Oh,
up.
No, we were in the holler. But anyways, so we come in and we're like, oh, and we tell him what happened. That old man, he tried to steal our money and take our candy and all this stuff, and we're upset. And then Grandma's like, they're lying, Lee, they're lying. And she starts scolding. Oh man, me, Danny, David got so mad at her, and we were like, Grandpa, we're not lying. That's what happened. She was like, you guys, you go to your rooms or something like that. And like, they're lying. And she just kept calling us liars, And so we were mad. It was the next week or the weekend. And Grandpa decided to take us fishing. There's this lake down from them, and we loved to go fishing. Grandpa was fun to go fishing with, And so we go down there and we went fishing all day, and we had a blast with them and everything. And then with Grandpa and all that, and we come back home, and on the door is a note from Grandma. And poor Grandma, I didn't realize, that she didn't have like a 3rd grade education, so misspelled all this stuff, and that's when I found out, because I was like, man, that's not spelled right. And that's when Danny Davis said, well, they didn't finish school, and I was like, oh, I didn't know that was a thing,
Yeah.
And anyways, we're sitting there, we're watching. I remember Grandpa would watch pro wrestling with us back in the day, That's when I don't know if they actually fought or not, but it looked more real than it does today. But anyways, so, and also, you could only get 3 channels, and up in the mountains there, probably only 2, And so we're watching this wrestling. It's funny how you remember all this stuff. And Grandma comes running in, screaming, Lee, Leander. That's what she would call him when she was really upset. And she goes, I went to the beauty store on my way back. That old man was drunk and he started chasing me and trying to get my money. And she's going on. And Grandpa goes, shucks. I love when he would say shucks. He goes, shucks, Midley. And he looked at us boys. He goes, you think she's lying, guys? And we went, yeah, she's lying. Oh, she got so mad. She got so mad at Grandpa with that, But living up in the mountains with him was so much fun. And with Grandpa, you never knew. Grandpa was a wild card because you never knew what he was going to do. And like they had a little neighbor girl our age that used to like to go streaking.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
And we go, oh, she's naked, Grandpa. What she look like, boys? And stuff like we're like, this stuff. But Grandpa was funny.
He was funny.
And I miss those days up in
He reminded me of Dad because Dad was always laughing or everything was funny to Dad.
Grandpa always sat in that chair. My favorite, I love to take a nap in Grandpa's lap because it smelled his shirt. The fabric softener Grandma used. That was my favorite thing to do.
Oh, that's funny.
Anyways, but those are the grandpa
kids, don't you? When you start talking about grandpas and
what are our kids going to say about us?
I don't know.
Yours will be Paducah.
If you start that again, I'm drop kicking you across the street. I'm not kidding. We ain't doing no Paducah.
We'll do it one day. And then mine will be.
We have so many to pick.
IBS. Becky and me, we have bathroom problems. Right? No. And so that's what our life will be about. I know which bathroom
I like to go to.
And then Becky will be chicken. On her tombstone, it will say chicken.
Yes.
Tombstone will say chicken.
Yes.
And all that.
Yes, and all that. So, chicken and all that.
Chicken and all that. I like
chicken and I don't know. I said the other day we got a kid that from Pensacola. He's a kid to me. He's already graduated, and he was leading the singing, and he didn't. And he looks at me because Leela usually there. So when Leela's not there, it's me and him. And he said, I said, he didn't tell me what page, and I said, what channel? He goes, I almost lost it. He almost lost. He did really well. I'm like, and he goes, she asked me what channel, and they're like, yeah, that means what page.
I know,
and I don't even know I say it. I say it so much, and like I don't do because at work I don't have my phone doesn't work. But years ago, that's what I would say. What channel? They would say somebody's, and I'd go what channel and still what line.
We did a whole episode. You have to go watch it on Becky because she would say chicken all the time. That's when Leela felt like she was part of the family. Is when she could understand what the chicken was.
She didn't have to ask me what I was asking.
Yes. So
I know but I don't do it a lot anymore. That's what Wesley and we were talking about the other day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't do it a lot. I can't, but I do struggle with my words.
I wouldn't know. I don't get to see you as much.
I know, but I do struggle with my words ever since I had that little strokey thingy me.
Yeah.
And so like checking out people at work, I have to do it at lunchtime or at least let the girls. So I'll go up there and check out people. And I was trying to talk to this man, and I said, finally, I just said, 2 words, sounds like. He started laughing. He goes, because I couldn't think of the word I was trying to tell him. And he said, wait until you get my age. I'm like, pretty sure I am your age, but okay.
I know. I'm looking at people on Facebook, and I'm like, they went to Oswego High School. Man, that must have been in the 70s. And they graduated with me, and I'm like, I look pretty good.
Bill and I, he always runs into people all the time. And he doesn't know who they are because he taught Little League or whatever.
Well, we're like that too. We run into so many people. I'm like, hey, hi, how are you?
Coach Bill. And he's like, but anyway, we were at Walmart. It's been about a year ago. And this guy comes up to him and he's talking. And they're just having a great time. Just talking, and they're standing at the end of the aisle. So I just kept shopping, and I went around the aisles, just, and I kept coming back around. They're still talking, and I just keep going. So anyway, when they got done, I mean, Bill introduced us and everything, but when they got done, he's walking away, and Bill goes, can you believe I graduated with him? He's gotten so old. And I just didn't say anything. I go, Bill looked
Did you get a mirror out and go?
And Bill goes, "What?" I said, "It's probably what he's saying about you." I'm sure there's about. He said he could have been nicer about it. He goes, "You're probably right." Because you don't really. I don't feel old.
I know.
I feel like that little 13-year-old girl.
I still see that teenage boy, especially now that I've lost weight. It's really good. Did you see our video? So I was watching our first video. We were so huge.
We were huge.
We were definitely chestnuts in that video.
Yes.
We had the chestnut blood going. I don't know. It's chestnuts aren't fat though. Our cousins and all them, we were the one. I was like, they're all tall. We're short.
Because we got the
runt of the litter.
We're the runt of the litter because Dad was the shortest brother, and Mom was the shortest in the whole family. So
yeah.
And then you go out to our family reunions, and we got these tall cousins. To me, some of them will say, "Well, I'm not tall."
You're tall
to me.
Come down here and tell us that.
Yeah,
you know?
right. Exactly right.
The good thing was we got to see our cousin Sharon a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
that
Sharon
was so much
and her
fun.
husband Gary. Yep.
That was so fun.
Yes, it was fun, and we got to talk.
We need to have her on our show because she's got stories.
Yes, that would be a good one.
She's got stories now. And she could tell stories on the reader side.
Right.
Really good. She also got stories on me. She's telling me stuff that I don't even remember.
Well, you loved her, and you would.
Oh, she was my she was my cousin for sure.
Mom and them would go. You would know. You always want to be with her and go.
I think she said I used to call her Mom because I was with her so much.
I hope that didn't make. I love to be with her. I would go into her room, and I know I bugged her, but I would just sit there and I'd watch her, and she would get ready for a date or something. She'd be putting makeup on. She never down talked me or act like, "Get out of here," or anything. She always put up, and I would just sit there, and she would be dancing, and she had that thing, and I'm like, and
do that again.
I do this. This is my dance. The grandkids like, but anyway, she was always like, and then she would give me clothes. We're not real far apart. I want to say we're like 5 years apart, but when you're teenagers, that makes a difference.
Yeah.
When you're older like us, now it doesn't make a difference. But so she would send me clothes that she would wear, and I'm like, oh my gosh, because Mom made my clothes.
I know. Do you remember when she made us leisure suits?
Do you remember when she made you guys leisure suits, matching ties, and me and her a dress?
Yeah, I felt like I was wearing pajamas to church.
No. Did you ever see the family picture we have of that?
No.
They had a family picture of us, and we're in front of. I've got to find that. I haven't even looked at the pictures yet, but we got to find that picture. And me and her had polka dot dresses too, because polka dot when she was a teenager was in it. Wasn't when I was really in it, But anyway, and they weren't horrible. But so we were a matching Chestnut family. You should see even Dad's face. You should see all our faces. And Mom's like,
was Dad wearing a leisure suit?
I can't tell if they were leisure suits, but we all
I doubt.
were all
I don't
matching.
remember him.
I think you guys had ties that matched our dresses. I don't remember, but
I hated
we
those
were matching
leisure suits. Can I tell you that?
Yeah.
And we had to wear them.
Yeah.
But I will say I liked them better than wearing the dead men's clothes.
But
every time a man died in our church, I remember it happened a couple times. And Mom's like, "Okay, you got to wear this today." I'm like, "Why?" "Well, because the widow wants you to wear his suit." I'm like, he's.
And it would make her feel so good.
Oh yeah,
I'm like,
I felt haunted. I'm like, I'm wearing, and the kids at church would make fun of me, Roger.
That's like
casket.
That's like Bill.
Oh,
Bill. When I'm not going to tell you what family member it is, but had somebody in the family expire and they died. Well, we went in and they had just gone to the grocery store, hadn't touched any of the food. It was in the refrigerator, and then it had actually died right there. So they gave us. We split it, and they're like, "Do you want?" Because I won't eat that. I'm like, "Yeah, well, And Jamie and I and Billy, they had steaks, they had salmon, and they were vacuum packed, that fresh from the store, and bread never touched. He would not. I'm not eating no dead man's food. I said, Billy, he didn't eat it. He didn't. I'm not going to eat anybody's food. He did not eat it. It's and we would cook it, and he would nope, not going to eat. He goes, that man died putting that food in there.
We need to
and we had that bologna roll bologna.
Mm-hmm. We need to do an episode one day on just food.
Yes.
Because of all the potlucks that we had, the things like that. And I won't get into, but man, some of the funniest stories over food.
Well, we went to one, and I won't say what church, which it was really good. It was really good, but it's all roadkill. I mean, not really roadkill. It's just all, deer and all that stuff.
Possum.
Yeah. There's possum and so the kids were like horrified. They ate deer. They've eaten, and I said, just get what I get. Okay.
That's what Mom used to do with us.
Yeah. Just get what I get. You'll probably like it because and so they did. And I didn't tell them what it was until after they were, what did we have? It was so good. You had barbecue rabbit. We ate a rabbit. Yeah, you did. But you liked it, and it was good. Yeah, and I mean, they always liked whatever we had, but I just knew, and they were, for being on the road, they were really good. The kids were good. Of course, they would die if they
Man, it's so funny because being in a pastor's family, there's so much stuff that you have to present, you have to do, and food was that, because you could hurt someone's feeling big time if you didn't eat their food that they made. And
well, mom would say, I don't want to lie, and Dad said, we're not, and I won't tell you we ate something one day. We always ate it. We always tried, and I do remember what it was, but I don't want to say what it was. I'll tell you offline. But anyway,
this is Becky again.
He put it down the garbage disposal. We're handed. He put it down the garbage disposal, and he told Mom, and looked at her and goes, that went down really good, didn't it? And she's like, what? He goes, you just tell people. Boy, it didn't last long at our house. That went down real good, didn't it? He goes, it went down so fast.
Yep. Well, and that's why for the longest time when we first, I didn't, you don't know.
But Dad always liked everything. He was like, why don't you like this?
Yeah, because we
were children of finicky.
But also though, I didn't realize this till I was grown, like when we had missionary conference, when we first started doing them, Mom always cooked. And I never understood that. Well, now I do, because she didn't want our guests eating something that she didn't know what it was and everything else. And people would go, and they also knew these evangelists and missionaries would go other places. They would get the same thing, spaghetti or whatever, or they would get, not always taken care of. And Mom always wanted to make sure they had good meals when they came. So
my favorite was, no, that we had good cooks. Valley had good cooks, and we had a lot of that, rice, and I haven't had that good rice since, Letty, Sony. I always can make that rice and beans really good. But anyway, yeah, there was my favorite one. I mean, we probably already told this because I know you told one just a minute ago that we already told. My favorite one was Brother Rudder and Brother Mullins.
Oh yeah,
when Mom made
banana. Peach cobbler.
Peach cobbler. They loved Mom's peach cobbler, and they asked for it, and she made it. But this time she didn't take her stuff over there because we had built a new kitchen
at the church.
And it was fully, I mean, they had the sugar and they had everything. And so Mom didn't, Dad goes, don't really just use the stuff over there. That's what that's for. So she goes over there and makes it because she made it for the whole church. Smelled so good.
And it looked good. Oh my God. It looked so good.
Mom could make
peach cobbler.
And the whole church was excited. But it was the morning session, afternoon session. So she served it at lunch. So it wasn't like the whole church, but it was a lot of the church members. So anyway, and they went to eat it, and was it Rudder or Mom? I think Dad said it was Brother Mullins that stood up.
Well, no, Rudder was like, what's wrong with this?
Yeah.
Like that. And then
he said, stop, don't eat it.
Yeah. And then Roger Mullins, of course, that was an invitation to put a big gulp in his mouth because Roger was going to eat it. He eats it. And Roger Mullins, being the showman that he is, stood up and just went, I don't even know what he said, but he made a scene.
That's who we need to talk to Jeannie and hear about, because I'm pretty sure they were there.
They were, and
pray for the Mullins family because Brother Roger just passed away, and also.
I didn't know that.
Yes, just not too long ago.
And then Harold Noble
just had surgery. So pray for him. And keep praying for these families, and but yeah, that I remember that, and I came out like, what? Why is because Brother Rogers one was always
Well,
laughed
what
at
was
everything.
funny when Roger
He laughed
Mullins
at
did that, immediately, what is the first response everybody does? Everybody then takes a bite. And I mean, it had so much salt. It drains your sinuses so bad.
But it wasn't just, it was so salty.
People are like,
it wasn't just salty. It was so salty. I mean, it was so salty.
Mhm.
But I remember when he hollered and I came out because I was like, because he's always laughed, and Dad was laughing. And Mom was mad too. Oh, Mom was madder than anybody. So, and then she was going to remake it, and it's all right, Miss Chestnut. I don't think she remade it that week.
No, because no one would have ate it probably.
No.
So, because that was
She blamed that's Dad's fault. She says to this day.
So,
well, I don't. Probably haven't.
Probably they're fighting now. Anyways, so so we got a couple of topics we can talk about the next time.
Yes.
So Becky and I, we're gonna get together. We're gonna call it quits for right now. We just wanted
try
to get
do
on
once a month, maybe.
Yeah, at least. So we wanted to get on here because you guys may not like. I think we have at least one viewer, Missy Taylor.
Yes.
She watches us. I know that. So at least we got one. So Missy, this is just between us, okay? And but I think we enjoy doing it more than anything because I like hearing the stories.
It'll be good for the grandkids as well. Yeah. We might take up a couple of things and redo them because I want to find out the true story.
And then, of course, we'll do Becky's Dateline. We do have a lot of scandals in our family, though.
Just saying.
Okay.
Nothing to preach your kids like better than a scandal.
Especially if it's other people's scandals.
Well, it has to be other people's scandals because.
Why?
Because we would get in trouble. We got in trouble, too, for talking about other people's scandals. Stupid.
Yeah, we just had to be sneaky.
Well, like Dad says, when you're talking about others, you're not talking about
you were never sneaky.
I was too.
Oh, I can't wait. So we're going to do an episode on Becky, the sneakiness of Becky.
It's not going to happen.
Hey, or Dennis Paducki.
We will be going to your funeral.
All right, we'll see you next time.